I did not think that the NFL had script writers. That was a whole tinfoil hat conspiracy theory. Have you seen the playoff schedule? What is up, football fans? For real, though. Like, there was this whole thing about the NFL scriptwriters that kind of came out this year, and it was a whole rigmarole, and everyone's like, oh, they don't want this and that to happen. And I was like, that's such like conspiracy, tinfoil hat stuff. And then I saw the schedule for the wild card weekend. And we're going to pick those games because are you kidding me? But before we do that, I have to shout out today's sponsor, BetUS. I'm actually going to be using their site to make the pick, so you'll see kind of how it's, the laid out of each pick. They also have props. They have so many different sports. They have so many different things. They are giving away Super Bowl tickets. Click on the link in the description. Go check it out. You can have a chance to get Super Bowl tickets. But without me rambling on, let them explain it to you.
BetUS, America's favorite sports book, where you can bet on everything anytime. Sportsbook, casino, horse racing, live betting, and more. We have the best bonuses in the industry. That's right, get a 125% sign-up bonus. And to celebrate our 30-year anniversary, we are giving up to 30 risk-free bets, a truck, Super Bowl tickets, and more. Don't miss out. Play smart. Join now. BetUS, where the game begins.
Again, BetUS, thank you so much for sponsoring the video. Go check them out. Click the link in the description. Get 125% of your first deposit matched. Fantastic. 24-hour payout. Really good stuff. They don't have an app. I will just say that. It's just their website. They do not have an app. But let me show you what I'm talking about with the scripts, the script writers of the NFL. Because look at the first game, Saturday at 4:30. Now, if you've been living under a rock for the past couple of years, you might be thinking to yourself, Doug, what is the big old hoopty-dandy about the Cleveland Browns heading to Houston to take on the Texans? Well, that's because the Cleveland Browns traded a lot to the Houston Texans for Deshaun Watson, who's not even playing. And Deshaun Watson got paid a buttload of money. That is one of the many storylines going on the wild card weekend. Now, the Cleveland Browns are giving 3. They are banged up. I don't think they're as banged up as Miami, but they are pretty banged up. And then Houston, CJ Stroud doing their thing against the Indianapolis Colts, ended up winning the division with the Jaguars not being able to beat the Tennessee Titans. I'm going Cleveland. Joe Flacco's been real hot. I like the way they're playing because they don't have Nick Chubb. They don't have Myles Garrett. Like the amount of people that the Browns don't have. You know what? No, screw it. I'm changing that up. I'm going to Houston. I'm going with the Houston Texans because C.J. Stroud plays different at home. I'm calling for the upset on the first game of the playoffs, and I'm going Houston with this one. You want to talk more script writing? Look at the second game of the playoffs. That's the Miami Dolphins heading to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. The fact that the Chiefs are only giving 4 points makes me feel better that the Dolphins aren't, completely out of their league. It's going to be cold. Now, tomorrow I'm going to give you Friday, I'm going to give you a full breakdown of all that. So I'm not necessarily going to pick the game right now, but it's going to be cold. It's going to be real cold. We'll see if Miami can, bust that narrative and play in the cold and hopefully win the game for the first time in 20-something years. But the narrative in this one is Tyreek Hill going back to Arrowhead. He couldn't go back to Arrowhead during the season because we had to play them in Germany. But now the NFL scriptwriters are like, we could have the Dolphins win the division, but then they'd have to play Buffalo again. So you know what we'll do? We'll have the Dolphins lose the game, lose the division, because you know what? Everyone's kind of used to them fumbling the bag. And then they get to go to Kansas City, and Tyreek gets to go back to Kansas. Yeah. We'll pick that. 4 points. Like I said, 4 points isn't that bad. Over under 44.5. I'm going to go under with that. It's cold. It's going to be real cold, real windy. I don't think a lot of big football is going to be happening there. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. Then we have, this one really doesn't have any type of storyline to it for script writers to kind of write this one in. If TJ Watt was playing this game, if TJ Watt was playing this game, I would feel more comfortable with that 10 points. I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if the Steelers win this game. I think Buffalo wins by 10. I do, and I would take Buffalo with that. I don't think the Steelers can match with Buffalo, and I don't think the Steelers offense can match with the Buffalo Bills defense. So I'm going with the Buffalo Bills, even with the spread, because. But talk about another storyline: the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry's World, hosting the Green Bay Packers. Mike McCarthy again facing his team, his old team, in the playoffs. Now 7.5 for Green Bay, giving to Green Bay. Jerry's World and the Cowboys play different there. Jordan Love is playing real good. But we also know how Mike McCarthy and this Cowboys team plays in the playoffs. Spread-wise, I'm going to take the Packers. I think it's going to be a close game. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys. They're playing home. I think that's a big leading factor there. But, again, huge game on this aspect. And we're going to look at another one. Are you kidding me? With the Sunday night game. The Rams heading to Detroit. For the first time in Detroit's history, they will be hosting a playoff game. It is the first time they have won the NFC East since they joined the NFC East and since the NFC East was created in 1993. They have Jared Goff as their quarterback. And you know who the Rams have as their quarterback? Stafford. So Stafford technically will be at the first ever home game for the Lions, but against the opposing team. You couldn't write this script any better. It's absolutely nuts. I'm going with Detroit. Am I going with Detroit? This is going to be a good game. I was so like, I'm going to go with Detroit, but then I really thought about Aaron Donald. I thought about, Stafford does play well. And I was thinking about their offense. This will be a good game. Yeah, I'm going to go with the home team in this one. I'm going to go with the Lions in this one. I think they're pretty pissed about what happened in the game against the Cowboys. I'm going to go with the Lions in this one. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams won that one. And then the final game is the Philadelphia Eagles taking on Tampa Bay Buccaneers. There's no storyline here. And if there is, and I missed it, comment it below. But from the top of my head, there's no storyline here. But Philly. Since their head coach, who I told you guys I can't stand the Philadelphia Eagles head coach, Sirianni or whatever the flip his name is, since he did that whole stupid thing in the tunnel against the Kansas City Chiefs where he was like, I don't hear you now, screaming. They've won one game. They've won one game since he did that in the tunnel. Such a cocky bravado, like, ugh. They've won one game. And that's what made me hate him doing that. I'm like, dude, you didn't even win the Super Bowl. I understand you got to the Super Bowl, but you didn't even win the Super Bowl. And you're all cocky and you're all like celebrating off a regular season win. They've won one game. I'm going Tampa in this one. I expect Eagles, but I'm going Tampa in this one. 'Cause screw that. But for real, like looking at the playoff schedule, craziness. Starting with Cleveland and Houston, the Deshaun Watson trade, Miami and Kansas City, Tyreek Hill trade. There's nothing here. Is there something here? Comment below. Did I miss something? You got Mike McCarthy again, and also Green Bay always somehow beats the Cowboys in the playoffs. And then you got Stafford. You got these guys, Goff and Stafford, facing their old teams. Like, you can't make this stuff up. The scriptwriters are nuts. And it really makes you think, like, did they write some of these losses in? Like, did they write that loss in to the Cowboys for the Lions to put this situation up? Very interesting stuff there. But comment below. Let me know what your picks are for Wild Card Weekend. I will see you guys tomorrow with a rah hoopity da video, and then Friday with the preview. Well, I'll be picking the game and all that stuff, and then Sunday night. Let's get our first playoff win. But on that, like usual, stay classy and fins up.